Well, now that the repair phase is over, things are about to get a little bit more complicated in a scientific way.
That's right. So if you can see here, we have two pieces of wood. One is that apron, the piece of apron that we replicated to replace the missing piece back in an earlier video. And this one right here, the dark one, of course, that's the original wood. We have blasted this, we have stripped it, we have sanded it, and this is the color we're at. So we're going to try to make the new piece match this one, and that is a little more difficult than we anticipated, as is everything about this project. So what we thought we'd do is take another piece of the same wood, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna tape this off into sections, and we're gonna try some different stain and see what matches. Okay, so none of them matched. We tried some different things. I got like a golden oak pen that obviously is way too light. Mission oak, this is a gel stain. This is a little too warm. You can see this has kind of got like a gray undertone. We did a couple more and then threw some black on top of it to see if that would do anything. None of those is a good choice. So it's time to flip the board over and make some custom blends. All right, so we have 3 stains sitting here. They're all by Minwax, and they're all just a regular oil-based stain. The first one, this is called Driftwood, and to me this kind of looks like muddy water. So just like if a piece of, like a tree branch or a piece of wood had been floating in a creek somewhere, that's what that looks like to me. That looks like muddy water. Over here, we have Special Walnut, and this is more of like a chocolate color. And then right in the middle, we have True Black. We have used True Black in the past on pine. It is very, very dark. It is just like using a permanent marker, very, very pigmented. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make 3 blends and give those a go. I've got a little dropper, a little syringe. And I think I would like the base to be mostly this driftwood. So I'm going to take out probably a couple of units here. Let's see. And I'm going to put that in each cup. We just found these at the local dollar store. Oh, that's not enough. Let's do a little bit more. So altogether, that was about 8 units. This is milliliters, so 8 milliliters, and I'm going to do that with each cup. All right. So I think for the first color combination, I'm going to try to add a couple of units of this Special Walnut, couple milliliters. Because that driftwood, it really does not have much color at all. When you put it on, it really doesn't do much to the color of the wood. That warmed it up just a little bit. You can see the difference there, side by side. I'm feeling a little bit froggy. What do you think? You think we should go ahead and try that out? Yeah, we'll call that combination 1. Number 1, and that was going to be 2 parts Special Walnut to 8 parts Driftwood. All right, so here's going to be the first trial. And you can see there, it darkened up our wood just a little bit, but not enough. We're going over to get the old wood we want to match to. And you can see there, that is not dark or gray enough. So we're going to try again. I think this time we'll add one part black. I'm a little bit scared because, like I said, this is pigmented. Maybe just a couple of drops. Let's see. And of course it's thrown off because I've already stolen some from it. So let's call this number 1B. And I'm going to put plus 2 drops True Black. It definitely made it darker. Ooh, I like that gray. It's getting more gray for sure, but it's still not quite dark enough. So let's get a little crazy, shall we? Here we have 8 milliliters of our driftwood. Let's do 4 parts special walnut. And let's do 3 parts of True Black. Maybe not. Maybe just 2 parts. Now that is very dark. Ooh, that looks like it's got a lot of black, and it does. And that I can just go ahead and say that's not going to work at all. That is mostly black, and that black is just sitting down in the grain. So, too much black. This time, if we do equal parts of special walnut, and let's still do 2 parts True Black. I can tell that that's warmer than that. And I think no matter which route we go, we're probably going to have to layer it up a little bit. Let's skip the driftwood and just try to mix special walnut and black. So here I have 6 parts special walnut. Uh-oh, I made a mess. It's all good. And then I'm going to do 2 parts of True Black. And yes, I know I'm contaminating each one. I'm trying not to, but I am. Alright, so that's just going to give us a little bit of a darker blend of special walnut. And this should look very different than what we have been doing. It's darker, it's more gray. It's not where we need to be yet, but it's getting closer. All right, so I waited a few minutes. I went back and put that last combination, a second coat on here. And you can see it's getting a little bit closer. I don't know if you can see that or not, but a thought struck me. This is wet. This isn't, dried out yet. This is not. So I wonder what this will look like if I put a little bit of mineral spirits on it, because that's going to give us a truer idea of what that's going to look like when we put stain on it. So let's moisten it a little bit and see what we're dealing with. Look at that. That is rich. That is dark. So I'm kind of wondering if we maybe give that a third coat, if they're going to be pretty similar. All right, so as you can see, they're both wet. This has got a little richer color now than this one. So I'm going to try to go in with just some special walnut by itself on top. We'll see what happens. If anything, I don't think that made it any richer at all. I think it might have actually taken some stain away. So that black pigment maybe. All right, so Bryan has an idea. We're going to try it. This time we're going to do 2 to 1. I'm going to pull up 6 parts of special walnut. And let's do 3 parts of true black. And give that a really good stir. Here we go. Here's our next combo. We're running out of room. We're running out of test space. Probably let that sit a few minutes and give it another coat. All right, we are getting closer and closer. This is the last combination that we tried. It is 3 parts true black and 6 parts of our special walnut. It's a little warmer though, as you can see. This is a little gray, a little more muted. This is a little warmer, and we think the reason that that's happening is because the wood, this actual wood from the original table is white oak, and so even though it's had stain on it and it's been weathered and whatnot, that's probably, you know, of course, giving it a different effect than when we put stain on red oak. So we'd like to mute this down maybe with some white a little bit and see how that changes the way that this stain shows up. So we'll try that next. All right, so here we have some, this is actually varathane stain plus polyurethane, which makes me a little bit nervous because everything else we've been using is just straight oil-based stain. So I'm going to dip a little white out of here. I'm going to lay it right here. I have no idea what's going to happen, folks. As you can see, there's really no white at all. It just kind of like wet the wood. Maybe I'll put a little extra on there for good measure. In my imagination, I think that this might make a barrier. Let's just leave that a little cloudy for a second. That down a little bit. And then let's go back in with our special blend. So the one thing that I do notice immediately is that the stain has not soaked into the grain as much as over here. And that's probably because that white kind of clear has gotten into the grain first. All right, so here you can see what we just did with the white stain underneath. I don't think it helped at all. If anything, I think it made it warmer. It looks a little bit more yellow than over here. So that trial was a bust. All right, we're gonna do probably one more trial, and that is to do 6 parts of special walnut to 4 parts of black. Last time we just used 3. Let's try 4 and see. I'll just grab this bottom corner here. All right, so we've actually brought a different piece of apron over just to kind of compare, because they're all a little bit different for whatever reason. They all came off the same table, but we really think we're going to go with this one. This is 4 parts of true black, 6 parts special walnut, and we're probably never going to get an absolute match, especially given the fact this is our first table restoration. But this looks pretty close. We're going to try it. We're going to test it out on a piece that we replaced on one of the legs and see what we think. But for the moment, this one appears to be the winner.
Well, now it's time for a true test. We've got here one of the legs, and you can see this piece of wood that we replaced here that was chunked out. We will try the mixture and see what it looks like.
And you know, the good thing about this is if we don't like it, we'll just sand it back off, right? Oh, I'm excited. Probably gonna take a couple of coats for sure. I probably will have to sand because this is not taped off and I'm getting it on the old wood, so I'm gonna let that dry a few minutes and give it another one. Got a little bit of mineral spirits. I'm gonna go in here and see what this looks like. Also, try to clean up any that's soaked into the original wood. We will have to continue, I think, to coat this new piece of wood, but it's getting there for sure.
Well, I believe we've got this color matched as close as we can get it with what we have on hand. You can see right here there's some mineral spirits around it here. And this still, you know, it's a little lighter. It might need a few more coats. And you can probably tell that, you know, that's red oak rather than the white oak that's around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that we're going to get this to look like the original. It's not. But we want to make it blend as much as possible. That's what we're going for. I found this experiment to be more fun than I imagined. I thought it was going to be torturous, but you know, trial and error. We're new to mixing stains and color matching, so for our first time, I think it went pretty well.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the bell. You can watch our entire series on restoring this table and everything else we've got uploaded. You can also check us out on Facebook and at woodsongsbyrussell.com.
Thanks again for joining us today. Happy woodworking!